Hello, loved ones. I know that this can be a rather touchy subject with a lot of people, especially those in recovery. And I guess it depends upon which part, addiction recovery, depending upon which kind of camp you're in. Because while our time in active addiction is very, well, first of all, it's very personal to us then and still now. I mean, to a degree, meaning it was a time in our lives where, I mean, that was life. But then again, it's not living at all. It's just merely existing. But then once we get sober, we get sober and we move on into a life of living in recovery, and everything's great. Or as far as addiction is concerned, everything's great. A lot of people want to let their addiction still define them, meaning they still kind of, now, yes, I am still an addict. I'm in recovery. I have been so for years now, right? I have been so for, what, 8 years now? But anyway, the point is they still identify as that. It's almost like they don't want to give up that identity, I guess, or a persona almost. It's like they want to be militantly in recovery forever, meaning they want to fight addiction forever. And what we need to really understand is that fight's done. Okay? Now, did it turn you into who you are? Meaning, if you had never fallen into addiction, would you be a different person? I mean, yeah. Yes. I mean, that absolutely is part of that. Is part of what made me who I am today, and maybe a big part of it. But I'm willing to let go of my time in active addiction. I am willing to let that stay in my past. That's what I'm getting at. It kind of unnerves me a little bit, only because I see a lot of addicts who are very militantly sober, but but it's like they're so focused on addiction and fighting addiction. And I understand there's a lot of people. We've got a lot of people out there that need to be brought back up, brought over to this side. I understand that, but we also got to understand that nobody's going to bring them over. Not until they're ready. That's one thing an addict, a true addict, regardless of their condition, regardless of where they are in their sobriety or addiction, that's one thing every addict knows for certain is nobody is going to be forced into sobriety unless you go to jail or something. But even then, you can still get drugs. Kinda. I mean, I think that's more prison than jail, but whatever. Point is, it's like this. I went to jail, then I went to rehab. When I got out, now at that point, I hadn't smoked a cigarette in 6 months, nearly 6 months. What was the first thing I did when I got out of rehab? Got cigarettes. My mom, God bless her, picked me up from rehab, and it was the first thing I wanted to do was get some cigarettes. Now, she was like, well, you haven't had a cigarette in nearly 6 months. What's the deal? You've quit. No, I never quit. I was just in a position where I was unable to smoke cigarettes. But I had never quit smoking cigarettes. Same thing for the addict on heroin or anything, fentanyl. They may be in a place where they're unable to use, and they may even go fully through the detox and the withdrawal and blah 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 and all that stuff. But until they've quit here, until they've decided, actually more, it's not here, it's here, but until they've decided, I am now in sobriety or in recovery, whatever. It doesn't matter how long they haven't used. It matters is, have they quit using? And getting back to my point, I see a lot of people who are militantly in recovery, who are, and I understand if you want to be fighting mad at addiction, if you look at addiction as a spirit and you want to be fighting mad at, okay, because it stole a lot of years and a lot of time and a lot of everything from you. I get that. But are you living there or are you moving forward from here? Because you're never going to get that time back. And in fact, you're just feeding more of it. So, I guess maybe cut your losses, if you want to word it that way. But move forward from here. And don't be angry. Because you're just feeding, well, like we know, where attention goes, energy flows. You're giving it attention. You're giving it energy. You're feeding attention to addiction, an active addiction. Let's feed energy towards recovery. Let's feed our more energy towards sobriety. Let's feed our energy towards creating amazing lives and being examples of what a person can do. Right? Let's do that instead. Anyway, loved ones, that's what I got. I've got a podcast episode that I recorded the other day, and I like it. I think the content is fantastic. It's probably going to be one of my best. Of course, it'll never top the one with Kitty in it. Oh, good God, that's my most downloaded episode. Everybody loves to hear Kitty. I do too. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. So anyway, there you go. We'll have that out hopefully. Well, it should be out tonight, but I'm not going to have time to get it edited, I don't think. So I've got another little, an apology episode to put out. It's still about 20 minutes long, but whatever. But it's a really good encouraging one. These are audio podcasts that I'm referring to, for those that don't know. So anyway, please give me a like and a subscribe and good reviews and all that good stuff. I love you, and we are happy, healthy, wealthy, and free. We don't want to be. We are happy, healthy, wealthy, and free. I love you. I'll be back directly.